On September 11, 2001, the Village of Islandia unfortunately lost 5 first responders. And I say that because we have 3 fire districts that service the Village of Islandia. We have Hauppauge, Central Islip, and we have Lakeland Fire District. We also have 2 ambulance services, the Hauppauge Volunteer Ambulance Service, Central Islip Hauppauge Volunteer Ambulance Service, and we have the Lakeland Ambulance Service. So we have a lot of people that service our community. And on September 11th, 5 of those people that represent those organizations went into Manhattan, tried to help out, and they lost their lives. I'm talking about Peter Brennan, New York City Fire Department, and he was a Hauppauge volunteer fireman. I'm talking about William Mahoney. He was New York City Fire Department, and he was a volunteer Lakeland firefighter. I'm talking about Raymond Meisenheimer, New York City Fire Department. He was a Hauppauge volunteer fireman. I'm talking about John Napolitano, who is a New York City firefighter, and he's from the Lakeland Fire Department. And I'm talking about a person who was with the New York City Police Department, Glenn Pettit. He was a news reporter for the police department, and he ran up those stairs to film the activities. And he was a volunteer fireman at the Lakeland Fire Department. So we lost 5 people, and 5 people we knew. It wasn't like 5 names. These are 5 people that we knew. And it broke our hearts, like everybody that was affected by that. So when it came time to figure out what we wanted to do to show our appreciation to our first responders who voluntarily service our community, we came up with the idea of revitalizing, redeveloping this park. The Town of Islip, at that time, it was the town supervisor, Tom Croci. We approached him and asked him if we could have this park, being that it's within the boundaries of our village anyway. Could we just get the Town of Islip board to approve the transfer of ownership? So through his efforts and the efforts of Al Graft, who was our New York State Assemblyman in the 5th District, and his representative, Doug Smith, is here as Chief of Staff. Al Graff and Tom Croci approached the Senate and the Assembly and had all the legal stuff completed and convinced the Governor Cuomo, to sign a piece of paper that gave us this park. So they accomplished that. That's what brought us to part of this. We met a group, and we spoke to them. We told them about projects within our community. We told them what we were looking to do. And through an agreement that we both have, they agreed as an amenity to fund a very large portion of this park. And those are the representatives from Delaware North. That's Brian Hasbury, who's president of gaming, Delaware North, owners of Jake's 58, and Chuck Kilroy, Suffolk general manager, Delaware North, manager of Jake's 58. So we came to an agreement. That's why we brought that check, to show you that they lived up to their word, and they gave us all that money. So it was a great thing. We also signed a tax relief agreement with them, which helps the taxpayers in our community, and we welcome Delaware North and Jake's 58 to our community, and we welcome them with open arms, and we look for a good working relationship with everyone. We also spoke to a gentleman who I happen to know from doing site plans with him in various projects throughout the village, Mr. Harry Singh from Bolla Marketing. So Harry, through his not-for-profit organization, built that building in the background over there, which is about 99.9% finished. Built it from scratch. It was a very large donation from Harry and his organization, and we want to thank Harry very much for that. We also have here Representative Tom Muratori from the Suffolk County Legislative, 4th District. Tom has always been a supporter of the Village of Islandia and every event and every activity and anything we ever needed from Suffolk County. So we thank him for being here, Tom. I'd like to introduce someone to you who would like to say a few words. Is Mike Zaleski. He's also Well, he is my Celeste. He is the deputy mayor of the village of Islandia and a trustee on our board. He's also chief of the Central Islip Fire Department. And there's about 1 million other things that Mike does. Okay, we appreciate all his help in the village, and he's one of these people that you can always rely on. He'll always be there. So with that, he's going to say a couple of words to you.
It's to pay tribute to 5 gentlemen who died doing what they do every single day, getting up, knowing that they might not go home at the end of the day. These 5 guys did not go home to their families at the end of the day. So the village of Islandia is going to be honoring them with a memorial for the First Responders Ball Field. Throughout Long Island, throughout New York State, you can go through any town, any village, you'll find lots of 9/11 memorials to go ahead and pay tribute to gentlemen and females who just perished during the event. We have 5 individuals that died that serviced the village of Islandia and the residents of the village throughout its fire departments, and we will be paying tribute to them with the memorials. So keep that in mind. We're coming up 3 months shy of another anniversary, so hopefully we'll have the ball field done by then. You'll be able to come by and pay tribute and have some thoughts for them and for their families. Thank you.
Delaware North is a company that many people don't know much about, but it's a family-owned private company. It is a global company. We have over 60,000 people around the world that work for us, but the Jacobs family is the owners and the founders of this company, which is over 100 years old. But they live in a community much like Islandia here. They live in a small little town outside beautiful Buffalo. When we met with the mayor and he told us what he wanted to do and how anxious he was really, this project in particular, and when he talked about reducing taxes, he always says, people talk about reducing taxes a little bit. He says, I want to do something that's meaningful for the residents of the village. And I think we worked out an agreement which is certainly going to work out well for everybody, and it's been a real pleasure to work with this group. And again, I think we're really happy to be involved in this project, and such a worthy cause. Fortunately, we look at the news, and first responders are in there almost every day, and we can't do enough for them, and certainly recognize some of the responders from 9/11 is certainly a worthwhile cause. So we're really happy to participate in that, and I think that we got a worthwhile project here. So thank you.
We find some of these great opportunity for us to go back to our neighbors and say thank you. Bolla Charity Foundation is a part of our way saying thank you and sponsoring programs. As he reached out to me about a year and a half ago, we thought this project was about $150,000 project. We end up spending over about $500,000. We are at 99.9%. I'll leave the 0.1% of the final inspections. But one thing I must say, and I've been a part of myself, during the 9/11s, we owned the site 5 blocks from ground zero. We lived those very scary moments. We seen those plane consuming the World Trade Centers ourselves. Being there, and there's no better way honoring these heroes that did not hesitate to be the first responders, losing their lives to save everyone they could have saved. I think all of us, if we stand here together, anything you can do, including spending time, efforts, supporting, fundings, there's no better way saying thank you.